Hmm. All right. First, a few thank yous. I tell you, I don't know if there's any other presidents or have been any other presidents that have been in a Big 12 wrestling tournament, but our president was. Um, Pretty awesome. See him up in the stand, see him and his wife Cheryl. I just want to tell them, make sure they understand how much we appreciate that, how much the support means to us, because they could be a lot of places. And they chose to be down at the Big 12 championships supporting our team. So that was awesome. So we want to make sure we thank them. Doc Burnett, he came down too. Want to make sure we send a shout out to him because we appreciate that support that these guys are going beyond. They're becoming fans, not just fans. They're part of the program, and then you know what, they're finding a way to give back and support our guys. So we appreciate that. As far as great performance, take a lot to be a great performance. Take a lot to be a great performance, and I think if you talk to our guys, I don't think any of them are going to think it was a great performance either. But the great thing is you got Pittsburgh in front of you. You know, we got 6 guys going for sure. As far as getting a wild card, you know, heavyweight's the only guy that has an opportunity, and you know, some depends on who else doesn't make it at heavyweight. Going to be an outside chance to get him in there. But you know, the best thing is just keep it in your hands, obviously, and win matches and punch your ticket yourself. I'm looking at there's a couple teams with a wide gap in front of us, and figuring out how to close that gap. And I listened to Jake talk, and the things that he's trying to do with his basketball team and how he's trying to build men is the same thing we're trying to do in wrestling. It does take, and I heard him say it a lot, it does take what it takes. And that means a lot of effort and a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of failures, so to speak. You might lose some matches or games, but how do you respond to those things? And I'll tell you, we had 5 or 7 the last matches we won. I think that's important that you end with odd numbers. That you end going into the national tournament with a win. You can build off that. You know, a guy like Elber lost first round, and he comes back and wins 4 matches, beats the guy that beats him, and if you can finish, you can finish with a lot better feel. Those things are important, and everything that these guys have worked for, it's still in front of them. And, you can see how much matches can change week to week, and it's being ready in 11 days. We'll have a couple days where these guys get a little bit of time to relax. We rolled in early this morning. We'll have a little training phase, and then we'll be ready to roll. But I'll talk a little bit about each guy. A guy like Schwarm, three pins. Bonus points are huge. You want to win a tournament. You want to place high in a tournament. He had 6 bonus points. I don't think there was anybody in the tournament. I didn't look in depth, but I would say he had the most pins of anyone in that tournament. And then wins his last match, pins a guy, and punches his ticket to the national tournament. I'm excited for him to get back to the national tournament because, last year, I'm sure he's still thinking about that. You don't have a good tournament, it leads to a little bit of bad taste in your mouth, and now he's got another opportunity in front of him to change how he feels about the NCAA tournament. Skidlarczyk comes in unseeded, wins 3 matches, has 2 opportunities to make the NCAA tournament. Thought he competed his tail off. Really proud of him, and if you're going to win a tournament like that as a team, everyone needs to score. And he was able to win matches. He scores points. He gets placing points for us, and that's important. And for him to be able to build from the future, he's just got to get a little bit bigger and stronger. And that takes time. It's hard to build that kind of power and strength throughout the season, and he's going to do that spring and summer. But represented himself very well. Talked about Elber a little bit. You lose first match, and you got a choice to make. Which way are you going to go? He can feel like maybe he's a little snake bitten in tournaments because maybe he hasn't competed well in some of the big events. But, man, he came back and got 3rd in a tough weight class and built himself a lot of momentum moving forward. And, he still scored a lot of points for himself. I don't know where he's going to end up seated. He's had a lot of good wins throughout the year. And I think he'll end up seated pretty high and deserves to be with the season that he had and the victories that he has. Max lost a couple real tough matches. We'll talk with, Jake was talking about video, and we have video review now, and it's just part of the sport. And you don't have to agree with it. I think everyone wants that because we want to be able to get it right. There was a big situation in his second round match where it looked like he had got 4 back points, had won that position, and then they reversed it and changed it, and he gave himself a chance still to win that match, and that's how it goes. He still had a minute, and then able to respond, come back, and finish with a win. But he's one of the best 49-pounders in the country. I don't care what the season he's had. I don't care what his record is right now. Where he ends up seated, I can tell you that I wouldn't want to draw him first round or second round or third round or fourth round. I wouldn't want to have to draw that guy and wrestle him because he's lost a lot of really tough, hard-fought matches this year. And you know what? It's time to put five together where they go his way. But excited for him to get to Pittsburgh. Peyton Moore, tough year. Injuries are tough. And you still go out there and compete, and you compete for your team. You compete for yourself. Sometimes you're not 100%, but then you still got to find ways to be able to compete and function at a high level because whoever you're wrestling against, they don't care. They don't care that you're hurt or injured or you got a wrap on your knee or that you haven't practiced. They don't care one bit. So you have to be able to still find a way to be able to get it done. Competed hard, just got to get healthy so he can get to some leg attacks because it's hard. It's hard when you're struggling to get to legs to score points. Just to holding the guy off, it gets really, really, really tough to win at a high level that way. But competed hard, just got to be able to score points. We didn't score any points at 65. Steyert, a lot of stuff going on in that weight class because Oklahoma State moved a guy down, so they changed the bracket a couple times. And what I try to tell him is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're messing around with the bracket. It doesn't matter that the bracket changes. All you can control is what's in front of you. That's it. Doesn't have any bearing on how you're prepared and ready. What the funny thing is the guy that he thought he was going to wrestle in semis, he wrestled anyway. So all that energy was wasted, and that's what I'm trying to get my guys to understand. A lot of things that you try to control, it's just energy wasted because you don't have any control of it. So learned a valuable lesson there. Lost a real grind match in the semis. That kid had a great tournament. The kid from Utah Valley had a really, really good tournament. Beat Joe Smith, beat Ashworth, and then won in the finals too. But had a real good win for third and fourth. The guy that was seeded first, Ashworth from Wyoming. The thing that I liked about that match the most is he kept attacking. He was ahead and he kept attacking. And that's huge for Bryce Steyert in the future. That's huge for him, for Pittsburgh to be able to be on top of that stand as he's got to continue to attack. So excited for him to go to Pittsburgh. Let's see, 74, Lujan. Lujan, really stingy, and that's sometimes you don't think about Lujan being stingy, but his semifinal match, he was very stingy, great position. And even last night, he was in great position, blocked off a lot of that guy's good attacks. Sometimes he has a tendency to let his elbows fly a little bit. Just got to be able to get to your offense because he's got incredible offense. But Lujan's in a great spot and ready to make a whole lot of noise at 174. I'm not sure where he's going to end up seated. Like I said, so much depends on if you're within certain points of a guy and you'll get that opportunity or not. But I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll get those brackets and we'll get guys ready for that. But Foster, first-time, two-time champ, pretty awesome. Pretty awesome to have a guy be a two-time Big 12 champ. What it does, too, is it starts to elevate the level of the program. The guys that are coming behind him, well, he's a first two-time champ. I want to be the first three-time champ. I want to be the first four-time champ. Well, I want to be the first freshman to win, and that's kind of what it sets out for your program to be able to do. But proud of him. He competed hard last night. That ride in the second period, those are the things that is exactly the things that we talk about as a team. Those are the things that have to happen in big matches. He just out-fought the guy, out-hustled the guy. He out-gritted him, out-toughed him. Out whatever you want to say. Man, he just made up his mind that he was not going to let an easy escape. And there was one position on the edge where it looked like the guy was going to get the escape, and he fought and came back around, and then you saw that guy go to his belly. Those are match-changing things. Those are ones where that guy's like, man, I don't think I want to work that hard. And you can see it on their face. You can see it in their body language happen, and we have to do that more as a team. We have to be able to do that more as a team. And we had a few other guys do that this weekend, but that was, to me, if I'm going to illustrate to our team of getting tough and just out hustling, out fighting, and it didn't have anything to do with technique. There was some technique in there, but a lot was just attitude mentality, and we have to have more of that. That has to be something that we stand for as a group. That has to be UNI Wrestling up and down the lineup, not once in a while. And you can do that, then, you can beat a lot of guys maybe that you're not supposed to. But that has to happen more. And I'll tell you what, I've just been thinking about that. I'm going to show the team. I'm going to show them just that ride and how much he worked and how much it started to change that guy's mentality, because he thought he was going to get away easy. And then he didn't get away easy. And then things changed. And then good thing about Foster, he got escape, and then he got a takedown. He built on his lead. And that's what we want to see. Great job by him, becoming a Big 12 champ for the second time. 97, Isaac competed hard. You draw the number one seed the first round. That guy had a good tournament. He beat up everybody pretty good. And then, had a chance to win that backside match. Was in on a leg and almost got to an ankle. It was 3-3, but he had riding time against him, and he didn't realize it. So I think he's thinking he's about to go to overtime, and then you realize it too late. So, I'll put that on us as coaches. He has to know. And I'll put a little bit on him that you have to have some awareness to in that situation. But I think that's a match that, man, he gets that guy's leg one more time, I think that guy's ready to fall over. And there were seven spots at that weight, so I think he definitely has a chance to put himself in that tournament. But competed his tail off and only going to continue to get better. And then Isley wrestled great first match, lost a second round match, and then you got to be able to respond and recover in a tough match, in tough situations. You have to be able to get yourself back up, and I'll put some of that on us as coaches too. We have to make sure that our guys are ready to go on the backside. You have to be able to respond. I mean, that's part of the sport, unless they just not going to lose another match, and I'm okay with that. If these guys never want to lose another match, let's do it. But if you do, in a tournament setting, you have to be able to rebound. It's too important for you. It's too important for the team. It's just too important for being able to move forward and have a chance to win tournaments like that. You have to have everyone score points. And so, yeah, you said great tournament. I don't know if we're going to be hard. We're hard graders on ourselves because, I was watching the basketball, and you watch these guys and they storm the court when they make the NCAA tournament. I'm looking at some of our guys and they just made the NCAA tournament and they're like, man, I got third. What the heck? And that's just, I think sometimes I'm different in mentality, but also you got to enjoy those opportunities. And I know our guys are looking forward to the opportunity to go to Pittsburgh and compete and go bring home a bunch of hardware. They're prepared and ready to do it. And you know what? If they're squeezing the bat tight this weekend, then let's loosen that bat up and let's just be ready to roll. We'll know a lot more in the next couple of days as far as who gets in, what the brackets are, what the seeds are, and then we'll get our guys prepared and ready to go. And we got 6 guys for sure that are going to be ready to score a whole bunch of points. You can do a lot of damage with 6 guys, a lot of damage.